This is the English on Air podcast where we interview interesting guests and teach English at the same time. In this podcast, Jessica and I are interviewing each other in order to try and explain the benefits of learning the phonetic alphabet for advancing your English. I've prepared some questions for you on the IPA. You've prepared some questions for me. And what we will do is I will ask you a question and then you will ask me a question. And then we'll go like that. So I'll ask you the first question, Jessica, if that's okay.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sweating.
Okay. So my first question, Jessica, is when were you first aware that a phonetic alphabet exists?
Okay.
When was that? When was the first time you thought, there's a phonetic alphabet? You may not have started to study it or take any notice of it, but when were you aware of it?
Okay, when I was in high school and I noticed these strange symbols next to the words in the dictionary. So I remember our teacher, English teacher, explained to us they were phonetic symbols, but she never explained how to use them. And really, if I think now, knowing the IPA would have made easier for me to study English pronunciation. Because for me I was really in pain during my English lessons because I couldn't understand anything, really. It was really hard for me. And so it was the first time actually I saw this when I was in high school, this phonetic alphabet, really. But I didn't understand in that point how useful it is, really. Because, when you are 16, 17, really, no, you don't understand. I mean, I think if nobody tell you how important it is as something, you really don't understand in general.
I think that's probably a really typical story, Jessica, that people are aware of it from quite a young age, but they don't actually know how valuable it can be. No one emphasises how valuable it can be. So that's probably typical. I've not really asked many people that question, but I probably will and see what answers I get back. Okay, so you've got a question for me.
When did you start teaching the phonetic alphabet in your English pronunciation courses?
Okay. Well, the story was that I teach at a few different institutions and mainly discussion classes. I've done story writing classes and a few different, oh, that's right. She said, would you like to teach English pronunciation? Now, I really do not like turning down work, especially when it comes to me and, sits on my lap. However, I'd never actually sort of taught pronunciation before, only in respect of if someone, uses a word and it's not quite phonetically correct, or they don't pronounce it properly, I'll just correct them. So that was the level I'd sort of gone into pronunciation. But I said yes. I said, yes, that would be great. And she said, have you got the materials? And I said, yes. A white lie.
Of course.
And then when I came round to actually having to be in front of people and come up with what materials I was going to try and put across to them and try and teach them, I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. I really didn't. I mean, I obviously went on the internet and I got some sort of basic materials, like we do a thing like minimal pairs where you've got two words that are kind of phonetically similar, like, for example, cheap, meaning low cost, and sheep, meaning a farm animal. So things like that, and tongue twisters and all sorts of bits and pieces. But what I felt at the end of the course, even though I got reasonable feedback, that no one really was progressing. No, I wasn't really teaching them anything. I didn't feel good about that. So then I was asked again, do you want to do the same course in the autumn? And I said yes. And then I thought, right, it's going to be better next time. And I got a few more bits and pieces to do and carried on in the same vein, but was still not happy with it. And I think this went on for about 3 seasons, where I got asked again in the spring, and everyone seemed quite happy. I don't really think they got much from the course. And then what happened was, 10 years before that, I think, I was working for Berlitz, a language school, and they were talking about this International Phonetic Alphabet, and I didn't really give it any thought. You know, typically me, I just thought, okay, fine, you know, and that's it. So it took many years, and I decided to go back and have a look at that phonetic alphabet, because I thought, you know, maybe it has got some kind of value in it, these strange symbols, as you said. And when I looked at it properly, I decided very quickly that it has got lots of value in it. And it was only then that the pronunciation course that I was teaching, the core of it, the center of it, became the International Phonetic Alphabet. And so all the other bits and pieces like minimal pairs and tongue twisters and all these things and lists of difficult words and all these things, that became secondary. That became just extra bits. The whole core was the IPA. And since then, I realised that that's had a dramatic effect on the pronunciation course. And obviously it's gone from a physical course, and now I have an online course doing basically the same. Hopefully that answered that. So it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, you said that you were aware of it from the age of 16, 17, high school. But when did you become interested in learning it, actually learning it and using it?
But of course, I've always been interested in improving my English pronunciation. But especially after meeting my husband, because my husband is Finnish. And when I moved to Finland, so here it's essential to speak English well, because the level here, the English level is higher than Italian English level. So really, I felt a need to improve my English. And actually 2 years ago, I read this, I don't know where, that there was a teacher who was attend a course. No, sorry, it was plan a course of English pronunciation. You.
Ah, okay. So it's 2 years ago, is it?
2 years
ago.
You
came into the class with Ari.
Yeah, you remember.
Ah. Okay, so, alright, so that's when you actively started learning.
Yes, yeah. Because I was thinking, I have to do something.
Now, were you aware when you came onto the course, because obviously I remember you and Ari meeting you, and were you aware you'd probably read the course description? Did I add in the course description at that point whether the IPA would be the centre of the course? Were you aware?
Yes, I remember that, because you wrote about in this course we focus on IPA chart, and then in general the English pronunciation. So I was really curious about it.
Okay, because I have a feeling, Jessica, that was the first course that I actually really focused on the IPA.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, so that was the first one, I think. Yeah, okay. Very straight question. Why would anyone bother learning it? Because obviously there's, if we talk about the IPA for the British English part of the International Phonetic Alphabet, there's 44 symbols to learn and sounds. So that obviously takes a bit of effort. Why would anyone bother, Jessica? Why bother?
First, in my opinion, is when